Welcome back to the channel. So on this episode, we're going to be building a set of custom headers for this thing. So let's get to it. You're watching the Vasco Speed Performance YouTube channel. Okay, the time has come on the sleeper truck. I guess that's what I'm going to refer to it as. But we're going to start making the headers for this thing. So I should have the flanges today from Blake. So probably won't get them done on this episode. But what I would like to do is I would like to get some progress on it made. So let me lift it up and show you what my idea is. Okay, with the truck up in the air, you can see we've got a decent amount of room in here for headers, so I don't think that'll be a problem. These fuel lines are probably not going to be right here, so that would be causing an issue, but I'm pretty sure you can get some 3-inch exhaust through there. You might have to just get creative when you come to there. But what we're here to do is just make headers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on where I want to put the collectors at on here, and then I'm going to make something to hold the collector in the spots that I want them. So let's come up with some ideas on that. Okay, so these are the collectors that we're going to be using. So these are a 2-inch primary, and they go 4 to 1, and then it necks down, but then it comes out to I believe a 3.5 inch. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put V-bands on. So I got a set of V-bands here, so I'll probably go ahead and fully weld that to it, but I'm going to be particular about how these lay. I would like them to lay, you know, like this in the car, not like that. So playing around with this and see if I can do this one-handed and kind of come up with an idea. But what I'm thinking about doing is, hold on, I almost dropped them, so we'll just do it without the V-band for now. But what I'm thinking about doing is off of these bolts here, making something that I can just tack weld to it, and that'll hold the collector right where I want it on each side. And then when I do that, that should work out pretty well, and you could just unbolt it and bolt it back on. So I'm going to come up with a plan on how to get those mounted, and then we will go from there. Okay, so it's a good thing I played around with some stuff. Let me show you what I was thinking. So this is a piece of 3.5 inch aluminum, just because it's short enough and I had it. So I was like looking up here, I was like, man, it's going to be tight to get that through there. And of course I wasn't thinking, but that's why you do this, you know, that's why you try to plan stuff out. But this truck originally had a Y pipe on it. So the exhaust came down, went underneath the transmission, and it connected over here, and you had 2 pipes over on this side. So that's probably the way it needs to be done again. So that being said, you'd have 2 pipes side by side. That would make this simple to do. The problem we're having is these collectors are fairly long. And so if you were to put it down here, I don't know if you would be able to get that turn that tight. So what I'm thinking about doing is just mounting them both like this and on each side. And I think that'll work. So now what I need to do is come up with something that I can attach to the frame that'll hold the collector in the positions that I want that are the same on each side, so they look uniform and nice. So I'll do some more playing around and see what we come up with. Okay, so here is what I have come up with. And so basically this piece here is just tack welded to this side of the V-band, so that's going to hold that. And then this isn't welded to this at all. All this is just like a little support for the front of it so it doesn't sag or go up and down. And then you could weld this or bolt this to the frame, but I just went ahead and clamped it for now, playing around with it. So I'll probably get the other side bracket made and kind of come up with the idea of how I want everything to run. And then make sure they're at the correct angle that I want them at. So right now they look like they're pointed down, but you can put like a 45 on here. So what I might end up trying to do is make this angle of the collector at a 45. That way when you put a 45 out, it comes out flat and it makes the exhaust going easier if you were to do that. So this is all just kind of playing around, see how it's going to go. Honestly, I think that the collector is this way a little bit. I'd like to straighten it out, so I'd like to probably pull it out a little bit at the front. But then once you get the collector mounted in there and you know where it's going to be, now you're not sitting there fighting it, and it should be a lot easier to build it. So a lot of times prep work like this can take time, but in the end it saves you time, and the product ends up looking better. So this side, you don't have the drive shaft to worry about, but I still want to try and keep the distance the same. So I think I've got it was about 2.5 inches down here. And when I first made this piece up here for the top part, I made it 2.5 inches, not thinking that the frame would go in at an angle. So had to modify that and change it, but it's getting there. So I'll make some more progress on it and see if I can get the other one made. Okay, so I've got the driver's side pretty much tacked together. It goes down, fits pretty good. Let's go look at the passenger side. Okay, so I've got my collector pretty much mocked up in there how I want it to do. It's pretty much the same angle as the other side, so they look kind of uniform. And then I'm just going to start making primaries go down to the collector. Blake at 417 machined these out of billet for me, so they're really, really nice flanges. So if you ever need a set of really nice header flanges, hit up Blake. But one of the things I noticed is this header collector is going to come close to the starter. I noticed there's some bolt holes on here, so I went ahead and designed a heat shield for this starter. Anytime you get exhaust close to a starter, it's going to get hot, it's going to make it go bad. So let's get that put on and then I'll show you how it turned out. So here's what I came up with for the starter shield. It's just like 80 thousandths aluminum. So I designed it and cut it out on the plasma table, but I tried to make it big enough that it'll just make sure that it shields the starter, gives it plenty of protection. It curves up at the bottom and it like curves up at the top, and then should give you plenty of room to hook up your wires and stuff. So that's what I came up with. It took me a little while to find bolts because apparently these are like 5mm bolts rather than like the normal 6 that most LSs use. So, but on to building the headers for this side now. Okay, I thought this one would go a lot quicker, and it did go a little quicker, but didn't go as quick as I wanted it to. But one thing I like to do is I like to take a spark plug socket and make sure that you can get to all the spark plugs easy, which this one you can. The only one that's going to be a pain is this one back here, but that's even a pain with stock manifolds. So yeah, that's the way it kind of turned out. I might end up changing this one, like shortening this up here a little bit. So but it works, so if it comes out, I'll probably just leave it. So, but yeah, this one's done and the other side's done. Now it's time to weld them all up. Okay, so I wanted to do an update on the sleeper truck. We are finished up with it. We got the headers made. It was a little lengthy process of building these, but it was definitely fun. It definitely challenged me. It's not something I normally do, building headers, but I think they turned out pretty cool. The collectors that I used on them, they're actually rather long, and that kind of changed some things, what my goals were on it, but let's go underneath and I'll show you what I was talking about. Okay, so since these collectors are so long, if I would have had it down here, there wouldn't have been enough to turn and come through here, I didn't feel. So that's why I went ahead and made them go straight down and just kind of stop. So you'll just have to put exhaust to go around through here. Not a real big deal. But it was a challenge on this side because I had to get the header to clear the frame rail and the drive shaft and, you know, everything else. So there was a little bit of issues over here. Plus you have the steering shaft up front, so that made it a little bit of a challenge. But this is a 3.5-inch V-band, and the frame actually goes out at an angle. So to get it all to clear and get it how I wanted, took a little bit of doing. Another thing that I was very particular about was I wanted both of them to be at the same side to side. So they may not be 100% perfect, but they're pretty close. And the way I did that was I made a jig that holds to the back of the V-band, and I used this hole as a reference, and then I got them at the same angle on the collectors. So they're pretty close. I think it'll work out pretty good. One thing I did was I put wideband bungs or oxygen sensor bungs on them. This one, you couldn't go out this way. You couldn't really go out top. So I had to come over this direction, and I think it's probably in the perfect location to miss the drive shaft and head out this direction. So got those done. This side, I went ahead and put 2 bungs on it. One is for a wideband in case your tuner wants to tune it, and the other one would be for the oxygen sensor. This side gets pretty close over here. There wasn't really an option. I had to kind of keep it as tight as possible. But that being said, since it was so close to everything over here, I went ahead and made a shield for the starter. So that bolts onto the starter, so that should help insulate it. And if it ever runs into an issue, you could always put like some sort of a heat insulation on the other side of it to help deflect that. But turned out pretty good down here. We ended up switching the pan out, putting a factory style pan in for him. That way it didn't hit the front diff. But yeah, turned out pretty good. So let's slow it down and see how they look in the truck. Okay, the passenger side, the wheel liner was not in the truck, but the driver's side one was. So when I put it back together, it's back in, so we really can't see it. But this is the passenger side. You'll notice everything tries to flow and clear everything. This wiring harness actually is supposed to go on the other side of this anyway, so that should give it clearance. He had a factory dipstick, but it was designed to go into like a hole like this in the head, and this aftermarket head doesn't have that. So I ended up cutting this bracket off and moving it so it bolted into one of the header bolts, and got that to work. So everything seems to go through there and flow pretty good, so I think it'll be all right. Like I said, I got these flanges from Blake at 417. He did an amazing job. They fit perfect. Yeah, and then I fully welded all the way around the primaries. And then obviously all of the primaries are welded all the way down. And then this is just a slip fit. So I put these little deals on here where you have bolts. There's just 2 of them. You could put 4 on there, but it's kind of pointless. You don't really need 4. So we got 2 of those, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. So turned out pretty good though. And yeah, I think he's ready to pick this baby up and get to making some progress. He's got to put the blower back on. He had to get some spacers for that. But yeah, we got it ready for him. So pretty cool truck. So I figured I'd do a little update. It is Friday at 5:30. I'm on my way home from work, and let me show you what the temperature is. 5 degrees. I know it says change oil soon. Don't look at that because the oil has been changed. I forgot to reset the light. See, we got 315 on her. She's at 313, so don't judge me. But it is 5 degrees. We got Snowmageddon coming in, and who knows how this is going to go down, but hopefully we'll make it through it. So in this episode, we took a little field trip up to Henderson Race Shop up in Trimble, Missouri. My good friend Troy owns this place. So he's really good with computers. So it's kind of a thing we've been working on. It's the cage for the Mustang. So let's go in there and get to work.
Steve reports with his business now.
Okay, Troy.
Loaded cars out here.
What's up?
What are we working on?
We're going to build a roll cage today. It's an exciting day.
This is a fun day, right?
This is a fun day.
So Troy has been working on this diligently, and what he has done, it's come out amazing. So this, we 3D scanned this thing like how long ago? It was probably like
fall, right?
Maybe. I think it was in the summer. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, 3D scanned the car, did all that, and then Troy's been working on this, and there's so much time that goes into this. It's just insane.
Yeah, this is only some of it.
Yeah.
We drove it. We got a lot more tubes into this, but this is what we're going to try to build today.
Right.
And definitely all the stuff in the reds, all the 1 5/8. We're definitely going to get it together.
Yeah.
And then if we, we got 1.5 inches, 1.25 inch, and some 3/4 in there too.
Yeah,
so we got a lot of tubes if we put it all together.
Yeah. So you guys worked on it yesterday, and you got all the 1 5/8 already cleaned up, notched, bent, everything. So like this is the windshield bar, and it'll come curved. And by the way, Troy's going to be selling these cages. So this is going to be a really, really cool thing for everybody to see. And we're going to be putting this cage in the shop car, which I'm super excited about. So tons of little things that he's been doing to this. So like right here, you can see there's this little mark that lets you know where that bar needs to go. He's also putting part numbers on everything. So these cages are going to be insane. He's going to offer it as an option. If you want, he can actually clean all the tubes for him, right? Mm-hmm. That way, when you get it, it's ready to weld, and you don't got to jack with anything and just go get after it.
We've done this enough times. I know all the things I hate to do, and cleaning it all is one thing I hate to do. So if you want to pay me to do it, I still hate to do it, but then you don't have to do it anymore.
But the reason with a lot of people don't realize is the cleaning of the tubes, it needs to be done before they're bent, because if you try to clean a tube that's bent, it just doesn't get cleaned very well. So, but yeah, this is going to be awesome. So we're going to be working on this thing. So we're going to do a bunch of different, steps along the ways. But he's got this really nice chassis table. So we're going to be setting up all these on here, and he's got everything plotted on the computer. So we're going to get the, everything going on it, and make some bars come into a cage, right?
That's the plan.
All right, let's get to it.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear outweighed the person you are.
Well, it was a full day of cutting, notching, a bunch of stuff. Polishing, sanding, tack welding, moving, a lot of stuff. But we were able to get the whole thing tack welded together, so let's go over it. So some of the features that Troy did is, you'll notice that this roof bar actually is rolled, and it's kind of hard to tell, but so is the main hoop. So the main hoop's rolled also. It's just that little touch that makes it look so much nicer. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. So I hope everybody liked the cage and the headers that we did. It wasn't a lot of different cars on this episode, which is something different for me, but it was still some pretty cool content, I think. Really excited to get the cage. I think tomorrow I'm going to try and go up and get the cage from Troy's shop, bring it back down here, replenish the chromoly that we used of his, and hopefully the next episode or the next 2 episodes, one of the 2, we will get that cage in the car and see how everything fits. So thanks for coming by the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.